You think your enemy is out there, your boss, your rival, your past, the algorithm, the economy, the person who hurt you, the person who got what you deserved. You are wrong. Not because those enemies are not real. They are. They stand in your way. They take what you want. They make your life harder than it needs to be. But they are not the enemy you cannot defeat. They are not the one who stops you every time you get close. That enemy lives closer, behind your eyes. And you have been feeding that enemy your entire life. Every excuse you made was a meal. Every time you looked outside for the reason you were not moving, the bad timing, the wrong circumstances, the people who did not show up the way you needed, you handed the real enemy another day, another week, another year of running the show while you pointed at everyone else. You are good at this. You have had a lot of practice. The external enemy is easy to name, easy to blame, easy to hate. The internal one is harder because it sounds like you. It uses your voice. It knows your history. It knows exactly which excuse will feel most like wisdom today. Musashi never married, never had children, never served a lord. He died with no one standing behind him, no one to blame, no one to credit, no one to hide behind. And he wrote, "The only opponent is yourself." Not metaphor, not philosophy. A fact he proved with every breath. He did not say this because he was lonely. He said it because he had fought 60 duels and every single one was won before the sword was drawn. The opponent on the beach was never the problem. The problem was the voice inside that told him when to move, when to wait, when to strike, when to hold back. Master that voice and the man on the beach is already defeated. He mastered that voice. You have not. That was his enemy. Here's yours. You are fighting everyone except the one person in the room. The boss is not the problem. The algorithm is not the problem. The lack of time is not the problem. The market is not the problem. Your upbringing is not the problem. Your circumstances are not the problem. You are the opponent. And you are losing because you will not look in the mirror. Look at the evidence. Every goal you set, you abandoned before the finish. Every relationship you lost followed the same pattern. You pulling away first, telling yourself they were going to leave anyway. Every project you started and quietly disappeared from had the same cause. Not them, not the timing, not the resources. You ran out of reasons to stay, and you called it something else. You have built an entire life on the strategy of blaming the mirror. The problem is always external. The obstacle is always someone else. The reason you are not where you want to be is always just outside your control. This is not a lie you tell other people. This is a lie you tell yourself. Because if the problem is out there, you do not have to change. You only have to wait for the world to cooperate. The world will not cooperate. The world does not care. The world is full of people who stopped waiting and started fighting the only enemy that ever mattered. You are not fighting. You are negotiating with yourself. And you are losing the negotiation. The gap is not where you think it is, and it has nothing to do with talent. The gap between you and Musashi is not your reflexes. It is not your opportunities. It is not the century you were born into or the hand you were dealt. The gap is your refusal to see the face in the mirror as the opponent. You believe that self-criticism is self-awareness. It is not. Self-criticism is just you attacking yourself. The opponent does not attack. The opponent distracts. The opponent gives you 100 reasons to look anywhere else. The opponent sends you to your phone, to the comparison, to the excuse, to the story about why today is not the day. The opponent does not want you to hate yourself. The opponent wants you to be too busy to notice that you are the one choosing every single thing you do. Musashi had no distractions, no phone, no social media, no news, no notifications, no one to impress, no one to blame. Just the sword in the cave and the question he could not outrun. He did not fight that question. He sat with it until it stopped being a question and started being an answer. You have never sat with the question. You have run from it your whole life. You have filled every silence with noise, every cave with a scream, every moment of potential stillness with a reason to move. Not because you are busy, because you are afraid of what you will hear when the noise stops. The opponent is not your boss. The opponent is the part of you that would rather scroll than sit, the part that would rather plan than act, the part that would rather blame than change, the part that would rather be right than be free. That part is not out there. That part is you. And you have been losing to yourself every single day. So here is what changes. You stop looking for the enemy outside. The boss will not save you. The algorithm will not change. The past will not rewrite itself. The person who hurt you will not apologize in a way that fixes anything. You are waiting for the world to become the opponent you can finally defeat. It will not, because the world is not the opponent. The opponent is the voice that told you to stop reading this sentence and check your notifications. The opponent is the hand that reaches for the phone before the hand reaches for the work. The opponent is the story you rehearsed about why you are the exception to every rule that works for everyone else. That voice is not going to leave. You cannot defeat it by ignoring it. You cannot defeat it by fighting it. You defeat it by recognizing it, by noticing it, by saying without anger, without shame, there you are again. And then doing the thing you were going to do anyway. Every time. Not once. Not when you feel strong. Every time, especially when you do not. Tomorrow morning, when the voice tells you to check your phone before you check your breath, do not fight it. Do not shame it. Just notice it. Say to yourself, there you are again. Then put the phone down. Do the first thing you said you would do. Not because you feel motivated, because you are no longer waiting for permission from the voice. The voice is not you. The voice is the opponent. And you are done losing. Musashi fought 60 duels and won every one. Not because he was faster or stronger or luckier. Because he stopped fighting everyone else and started fighting the only opponent who could actually beat him. The face in the mirror is not your enemy. The voice behind your eyes is not your enemy. They are the opponent. The opponent does not want to destroy you. The opponent wants to distract you. Long enough for you to forget that you were the one holding the sword the whole time. Put down the phone. Pick up the sword. The only duel that matters starts when you close this tab. Musashi had one opponent his entire life. You have been avoiding yours. The opponent is you, and the fight starts now. I pay the price, and I pay it alone. I pay the price and I pay it alone. I pay the price, and I pay it alone.